she'd been working her business for a few months, I started to notice that she was gaining some personal confidence, and she was beginning to have success from her work. Also, I noticed that she had gained some new friendships as well. Honestly, I didn't like that at all. I know it's selfish, but I felt like I should be the one she got confidence from, and that my success should be the focus of our discussions and our relationship. And any friendships that she had somehow should be connected to me and approved by me. I think you can see a theme emerging here. I had very little regard for how she was growing and the value it was bringing to her life. And all I felt was frustration that some things weren't the way that they had always been. I'm a guy. I like things simple and figured out. And I realized that I viewed the mental and emotional parts of our marriage as already figured out, and I didn't want to change anything. The irony is that all the ways that she was changing had already had a positive impact on our marriage and our life together, and there was so much more waiting, with the only thing holding it back being me and my horrible attitude.
The personal changes that began to happen in me a few months into starting my own business actually kind of took me by surprise. I didn't realize that I even struggled with confidence. I didn't realize that I struggled with what people thought of me. I didn't realize that I was missing something in my life. And after starting the business, I began to physically change. I stopped wearing sweatpants every day. I began to care about how I looked and got excited about how I looked. I was feeling good about it, feeling good about what I saw in the mirror for the first time in a really long time. I was coming off of those baby years and just a time in my life where I didn't focus much on myself. And as I began to start to do that, I noticed just some internal changes happening in me. I made new friends. I made friends that were becoming a daily part of my life. I had forgotten what it was like to make friends. I had maybe even forgotten that I had the ability to make new friends. I didn't even know I needed these new friends in my life, and they were bringing something out in me that just had never been there before. It was exciting. I was happy. But I did notice it starting to drive a little bit of a wedge between Luke and I. I knew he was happy for me because I knew that he loved me, but I also could tell that there was just something irking in him. There were just these looks that I would see occasionally, or a disinterest in something I was telling him about, or just a distance that was there that had never been there before, and I had no idea how to fill that gap.
So every day it seemed like she was looking hotter and hotter. It was quite an incredible change. The thing was, it just didn't feel like it was all for me. And again, that theme emerges, my selfishness. The reality was that it was really for her and for me. She was growing in confidence, and you could see it outwardly in her creativity with her makeup. And personally, I've always found my confidence in my work and my performance with it. And her role of supporting me in my work with all of her time and energy was something I realized that I counted on as part of that equation. I found my work to be very rewarding in a number of ways, and suddenly, she wanted to and needed that support back from me, and I had a decision to make. I could either keep my bad attitude and criticism and worry over the changes I saw in her personal and professional growth, or I could just support her and offer the same support that she had to me for so many years. I could appreciate the fact that this was her opportunity to find fulfillment, community, and success with her work. And so I changed my attitude. I decided to change from criticizing her to encouraging her instead. Change from being indifferent to her friends to asking about them and learning why the friendship was working for her and for them. And really, I began to see the changes were healthy and good for her. And the moment I decided to support her was the moment that I saw things start improving.
We have never gone through seasons well where there's distance between us or unspoken words. And so I knew that I couldn't let this fester. I couldn't let the gap grow wider or the distance grow longer between us. And I don't know that it was even something Luke and I necessarily sat down and discussed. I really felt like it was on me to help bridge that gap. Now, obviously, it meant he was going to have to come my way a little bit. But there were definitely some things that I could help in that. I felt the tension. I knew that roles had flipped a little bit. And it became very important that I continue to be a support to him and to build him up and to find ways to do that. Part of that was just bringing him into my world and letting him see glimpses of what I'm doing, helping him understand why I loved what I was doing so much, and even asking him for help in some areas that maybe I didn't need the help, but it was inviting him into my world, helping him see it through my lens. Another part of it was making sure that I gave him the things that he needed. Luke is a words of affirmation guy. He always has been. And so it was really important that I find ways to affirm him, no matter what it was, whether it was with the kids, whether it was with me, whether it was helping around the house, his job, just being very intentional to make sure that I was verbally affirming him on a regular basis. And then, quite honestly, there are just some physical needs that men have that differ from women, and just making sure that I made that a priority. And I'm not saying that I rewarded cruel behavior or I rewarded criticism with that, but I didn't withhold it and I didn't keep it from him. And I wanted him to know that that part of our life, that intimate part of our life, was still very much a priority to me. I wanted him to feel that connection with me and that type of love from me. I didn't hold back in my growth, and I didn't hold back in letting myself feel this newfound confidence. I knew that there were some insecurities happening on his end, on Luke's end, and that wasn't my job to fix, but there were definitely some things that I could do that could help him feel more secure in this new person that I was becoming. And together, we were able to both grow in confidence.